Spirit flow over me, clear my eyes that I might see. Spirit flow over you.
Good morning and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for your patience. We had just a little bit of technical difficulty this morning, and oh my goodness, we are so grateful for our fabulous technicians who made it all come together so we could be together. I'm Maxine Kaye, and I am so grateful to be the spiritual leader of this beloved community. And isn't it wonderful in the last few years, since we've had to become very creative about getting the word out beyond brick and mortar, that we have the ability to have an extended beloved community. And all of you who are tuning in and continue to tune in are a very important part of our beloved community. If you're tuning in for the first time today, well, welcome. We're awfully glad you're here, no matter where you may be in the world, and no matter where you may be along your spiritual evolutionary path. So thank you for being here. This is a precious day, a special day, and it's the very beginning of July, the first Sunday in July. And so we have an opportunity to open our hearts and minds to that great Spirit Almighty which has brought us together, which keeps us together, which brings us great creative illuminating ideas, not only for our own lives as we learn to use the principles of science of mind, these beautiful spiritual tools for every imaginable human experience, for the greater world itself. And this is where we begin with ourselves, and we know that every step that we make toward a greater awareness that the presence of God is within and all around us, the greater impact we're having upon a world that is very much in need of this, don't you think? So we're very grateful to be a part of a larger organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, which is international, and we have a wonderful mission that we have all chosen to be a part of. And many of you know what it is, and it is simply to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Spiritual magnificence. That's the truth of you. That is the truth of all of us. Isn't it wonderful? And as we learn to utilize these beautiful spiritual tools like affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, meditation, and so forth, we're making a marvelous difference in our own lives, in the lives of our loved ones, and beyond, because it keeps moving out like beautiful, beautiful stream of life, and makes a difference in the lives of other people who we may never even know. Isn't that exciting? And we're here to do something very special because the world is in need of us, don't you think? And so we are working together to create a world that works for everyone, a world that works for all. That's all the sentient beings, as the planet itself and beyond. And we can do this. We can do it together. That's what makes it possible. We love each other. We support each other. We move together along, dance together along this beautiful evolutionary path of life. So thanks for being here. Thank you for your presence with us today. And we also have a purpose word that came, a purpose statement, came right out of our own Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living several years ago, and we love it so much that we still love to speak it together. Would you care to join us? It goes like this: living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. And now our opening song from Jamie Lula, Spirit is in the House.
Spirit in the house. Yeah, yeah. I said spirit in the house. Come on, y'all. I done my time. I'm so tired. I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good. I'm in need if I only could find the spirit in the house. Well, yeah, the spirit in the house. Lights just start, I go through. Pull me over, said the man in blue. Son, you know what you done did. I said yes, I ran a lot of bread. What's your hurry, why the race? Who you trying to keep pace with? Take your time now, it's alright. Got your answer, you can't hide from the spirit in the house. Well, yeah, spirit house. Yeah, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit God in you? House ain't home, home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell in the spirit in the house. Well, spirit in the house. Yeah, yeah. I said spirits in the house. The spirit in the house. Spirit in the house, y'all. Spirit in the house, y'all.
Thank you, Jamie. That was fun. Hey, good morning, kids, wherever you may be. Let's have a little chat. Okay, this is a special weekend, isn't it? What happens on Tuesday? I can hear you from there. Yes, it's the 4th of July. It is what, the 257th anniversary of the independence of our country, the United States of America? That's a big deal. You know, I have a couple little friends here. These little friends came along to remind you that it's the 4th of July coming up. Well, that's a lot of fun. I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe you'll barbecue. Maybe you'll go to a parade. Maybe you'll have fireworks or go see some fireworks on Tuesday night. In fact, they're even doing them around here before that, I hear. And it's a special, special time because it's when we gained our independence from Britain and we became our own country. Oh, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of wrangling. There was a lot of arguing over the Constitution. What are we going to do? We have to have a Bill of Rights before we can agree with anything. And Philadelphia, as you know, was a very important part of this process. This is like the birth of our country right here in Philadelphia in 1776. Wow. So a new beginning. I'm sure all of you have been to the Liberty Bell. You've all gone to Constitution Hall. And you know when you go to Constitution Hall, they have people doing a reenactment of what it was like when all the governors from all the different states were there trying to work it out. And they had some vast challenges. They had a lot of difficulty agreeing on things. And ultimately they did, but it took a while. You know, this democracy is a messy thing. And when we work together, we ultimately can get to the point where people are in consensus and they can make some arrangements that work pretty much for everybody. Well, many years ago, my son-in-law, I call him my son-in-love, came from Sweden. He and his family came to the United States when he was 15 years old. And I remember him telling me that as the ship was coming up to the New York harbor, he went right up to the front of the ship because he wanted to see his new country first of all, before anybody else did. And he's so thrilled to be an American. He was so proud to become a U.S. citizen when he did. And when he and the rest of the family were here a few years ago, we took everyone to see the Liberty Bell, and he was in awe of it. And then we went across the street to Constitution Hall. I'm sure you've been there. And as they were ready to do the reenactment of what was going on at the time that they were fussing over putting this Constitution together, my son-in-law, his name is Bruno, I made sure he got right up to the banister where he could see very well what was going on. And what was so wonderful was that the actors decided to make him one of the governors. And he was so proud to do that. And they told him what to say. And he became a governor of Virginia or something, I forget which. And then afterwards, as we came out of Constitution Hall, he had tears in his eyes. This meant so much to him. And at the same time, we looked across the street and behind where the Liberty Bell is, and there were a whole lot of people demonstrating. I don't even remember what it was at the time, but it was important, I'm sure. And it was like, this is democracy in action. And it was incredibly moving for him. It was incredibly moving for all of us to see how impactful it was for this gentleman who loves our country so much and could hardly wait to come here and could hardly wait to become a citizen. And as a result, he and my daughter created a wonderful business in South Florida. And as a result of all this, he began hiring people from other countries to work for them and sponsored them. Do you realize how precious it is to be a citizen of the United States of America. You were born here. I was born here. We take it for granted sometimes. Let's not take it for granted. You know, have your barbecues. Go to your parades. Watch those fireworks. But celebrate being a citizen of the United States of America. All right, I almost left talking and went to preaching there, didn't I? Enjoy the rest of your day, kids. Love you. See you soon. Ready for meditation? I'm ready for meditation. Let's take deep, deep, deep breaths of spirit. Feel that lovely, beautiful vitality, that perfect presence just circulating through our physical bodies, bringing life and more life, balance. Feel it circulating through our emotions, bringing harmony and peace, serenity. Let it circulate through our minds so that we experience calm confidence and an openness to divine inspiration. It is the breath of life itself that is the flow of spirit through us all. Allow this divine presence, this holy breath itself, to bring us deeply into our hearts now. And remember that our hearts are being held, supported, lovingly, tenderly, in the great cosmic heart itself. And so we just rest and allow this presence to remind us that we are that. Deep in our hearts, we allow ourselves silently to say, I am that I am. And from this holy place, let us look out at the world. And no matter what we see with our human eye, no matter what chaotic conditions may appear, let us allow ourselves to see as God sees. Only love, only wisdom, harmony, unity, oneness. And as we remember the oneness, we can now begin to see all of the differences as simply beautiful expressions of the one. Unity in diversity. All expressions of God. All divinely ordained to live from that sense of spirit, to acknowledge the internal gifts of everyone, and to invite those gifts to come forth. The individuality is truly individualization of the one expressing as the many. Now experience being united in consciousness, every sentient being united in consciousness. And take a deep dive down into the center part of your heart and bring that awareness of absolute oneness, beautiful unity in diversity, in the sacred silence Simply know it and feel it and choose it now. Ah, the sweetness of interdependence. All the expressions of the divine, needing one another, respecting and appreciating one another, celebrating one another in a united state of consciousness. This is the truth that is already setting us free. All is well. All is well. Truly, 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 all is well.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day, I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God.
Oh, Daniel, I love that so much. Now look who's standing right here with me. He is going to honor us with an opening treatment, Reverend Mike Curtis.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Maxine. Hello, everybody, and happy 4th of July weekend. One of the things I'm reminded is the Declaration of Independence, where it says that the Creator the great universal spirit, gives us, bestows upon us certain unalienable rights. That means cannot be taken away. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So in that consciousness, please join me as I say this treatment, this affirmative prayer in the first person. I know, and I know that right where I am, that perfect life which is God expresses by means of me. I know right where I am, divine mind expresses itself, and I have the opportunity to choose a greater expression than I've ever known before. Right where I am, divine mind expresses with life, liberty, and allows me to pursue the happiness, allowing me to choose. That's my liberty, that I can choose. And if I find myself in a situation that I would like to change, I choose again. I choose anew. And I always have the opportunity to choose anew, because life is eternal. And that life within me expresses a greater life eternally. And I am happy. It's something that's pursuing me as I pursue it. So as with a grateful heart, I release this word down to the law of mind. I know that it is so. And together we declare, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Mike. Oh, now will you join me in the affirmation, please? I awaken with joy to the peaceful, powerful presence within me to co-create a wonderful life for all. Wow. Okay. Here we are, a brand new month for us. We're continuing the year's theme of building a new consciousness. And every theme this month has brought us closer to the consciousness that we are all in the process of building, both individually and globally. And so what do you suppose the theme for July might be? Freedom, freedom, freedom. And today we're talking about liberty and life. And Ernest Holmes, in The Science of Mind, on page 480, says, true liberty comes only through true harmony. True harmony only through true unity. And true unity can only come through the conscious realization that we are one with God or good. Wow. Well, you know, it was Patrick Henry at the Second Virginia Conference in 1775, when they were wrangling all over these things about the Constitution in Richmond, Virginia, that he said the famous phrase, and if you know it, say it with me, "Give me liberty or give me death." Well, we're choosing liberty and life, okay? And we can do this because divine life is the reality within and through and around and through as all of us. You see, we need not become free. That's important news, because we are already born of divine freedom. We came in that way. We forgot about it after a while. We began to believe too many things, and that sort of got wrapped around our innate knowing that we are spiritual expressions of the living God, and we are free to live that divine life out loud. You know, Emmett Fox years ago wrote a wonderful parable about a prisoner. Many of you know it. And this is a man who had been in prison year after year, was about as miserable as anybody could be, wanted to get out of there. And one day he got to the point, he says, I don't care what happens to me. I don't care if the guards shoot me or whatever. I've got to find a way out of here. He pushed his cell door, and it opened because it had never been locked. He always had been free to leave. He just didn't believe it. All of us can relate to that parable, I believe, because we are freer in our minds and in our hearts than we know. We have believed some false notions about, well, I can't do this because, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm not enough of this, or not enough of that. And we have believed the ridiculous, what our good friend J. Scott Neal used to call the nincompoopery of the world. And it's time for us to wake up and realize how wise, how deeply connected with Spirit we are, and how possible it is to choose differently by, first of all, remembering that freedom is our birthright. Now, liberty is not license. You know, we can't just do whatever we want and not care how it might affect other people. That's license. And we have liberty. And the most important liberty we have is what Reverend Mike referred to in the opening treatment, which is the liberty to choose. And then the liberty to choose again if what we first chose doesn't turn out the way we were hoping. We get to choose again. We're at liberty then to make better choices, more conscious choices, more creative choices, more compassionate choices, more powerful choices. You see, it is as we awaken to this divine life that is the reality that underlies everything else, it's as we awaken to it that we begin to experience the freedom to live fully. Why would we put ourselves in a self-imposed jail cell when we have the ability to live freely and fully and out loud out in the world? Not in a way that's going to bother anybody else, but simply in a way that is going to fulfill us and encourage other people to live a fulfilled life as well. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, we know in this teaching that we're not chasing after happiness or anything else. You know, Thomas Jefferson, took this phrase from the English philosopher John Locke. And Locke found it in Aristotle and Epicurus. See, it's always the Greeks, isn't it? So it's not merely the pursuit of pleasure, of property, or self-interest, although it does include all these things. It is also the freedom to be able to make decisions that result in the best life possible for a human being, which includes intellectual and moral effort. This is all from Aristotle and Epicurus, given to us through John Locke and ultimately through the writings and the speaking of Thomas Jefferson. See, we would all do well to keep this in mind when we begin to discuss the American concept of happiness. Now, it can be whatever it is for each of us, right? We have the right to choose what's happy for us. And we are smart enough and wise enough and conscious enough to let it be okay for other people to experience their happiness in the way that's wonderful for them, so long as it is not harming anyone else. Happiness is not a cause, but an effect, because it's just not a station along life's highway, but a manner of traveling. And that's from Arnold Michael in this wonderful little book called The Discipline of Delight. It's not a station along the way of life's highway, but a manner of traveling. A manner of traveling with joy. You see, we don't pursue happiness or anything else, but we purposely accept it and live from it and make that choice. That's how we bring spirit into our daily lives and ultimately into the world itself, by choosing the highest and the best for ourselves, and for all sentient beings. All sentient beings. You see, we are building a new consciousness. Day by day, moment by moment, prayer by prayer, meditation by meditation, kind act by kind act. We are building a new consciousness, a beautiful new consciousness, and we have the freedom to do that. And isn't it beautiful when we embody and express and live from our freedom that other people can't help but notice? And they want that too. And ultimately, just by living our lives purposefully and freely, consciously and creatively, we are influencing. Let's be influencers. We are influencing people to live from their divine right of freedom as well. There's nothing to pursue. There's everything to accept and embody. That's what we do, isn't it, in spiritual mind treatment? We don't hope, we don't chase after, we don't wish for. We lovingly focus on our heart's desire, and we accept it and embody it and give thanks for it and live from that place. And then other people are going to be inspired by that. Don't you know, the happier we become, which comes from the joy of God, which lives within us, because, after all, joy is one of the 7 substantive qualities of God. What we experience as happiness is just a faint echo of the joy of God, which abides within all of us. Let's realize that we can laugh, and I love to laugh. Sometimes, in fact, I want to add something to our purpose statement. Living, loving, learning, laughing. Spirituality, that works. I love to laugh, and every time I do, I realize that it is really the presence of the divine quality of God, which is joy within me, that wants me to laugh, that wants me to sing, that wants me to dance. You got to sing when your spirit says sing. You got to laugh when your spirit says laugh. You know, it's the joy of God that is awakening us to the possibility of experiencing all kinds of human happiness. We have a right to it. Everybody has a right to it. Let's celebrate other people's joyous expression of the living God, whatever that is for them. It's not harming us. It's giving us an opportunity to smile and say, what a beautiful way to express God's life. How beautiful that is. It may be different than the way I'm expressing my life, but I honor it. I celebrate it. I'm grateful for everybody's happiness and joy. I'm delighted for everybody's innate freedom. And I want to do everything I know how to do to help people awaken to that divine freedom. So yes, we employ affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, while we're building this new beautiful consciousness for ourselves and for the world itself. And yes, as we're building a new consciousness, we are deepening our connection to the holy presence of Spirit within us. And that's without exception. There's not one individualized manifestation of God that is not an individualized manifestation of God. We are all in the presence of the presence, expressing the presence, to the degree that we're making these wise choices. Our liberty to choose, and to choose not only the good that we'd like to have in our lives, but also the highest possible choice and expression of life itself. As we bring a greater expression of Spirit into our lives and into the world, it establishes an ongoing consciousness of healthy expectancy, so that we are looking forward to the seeds that we have just planted to come up into a beautiful crop of love and life and joy and good and every nature that we can imagine. Abundance, physical abundance, spiritual abundance, abundance of friends, abundance of love, abundance of creativity. We were born to be co-creators with the infinite. And every time we set our minds and our hearts to a specific purpose, We are co-creating with the universe. Isn't that an amazing realization? That's just right up with there with awakening ourselves to our spiritual magnificence. We recognize that it is spirit expressing in, through, and as us that's co-creating our lives in such a sweet and beautiful way. Co-creating our lives in a way that we are establishing an ongoing consciousness of cheerful expectancy. You know, there are times I have discovered in my life that I may become aware of a need I may have, and yet I don't, in that moment, sit down, perhaps, and do spiritual mind treatment. I simply notice and sometimes just continue with the flow of living. It's like I'm aware of something, but I'm fine with how life is unfolding. And then later on down the road, some magnificent manifestation will come into my life. It's sometimes those forgotten seeds that we plant at the time that we're aware that something is required, something would be wonderful to have in our lives. And sometimes just simply because of the fact that we continue to deepen our connection with Spirit every day, that we do our meditation and our affirmative prayer, our spiritual mind treatment every day, we find ourselves developing a consciousness that has a happy, wonderful, cheerful expectancy of good. And one wonderful thing that happened many years ago, without my sitting down to do a spiritual mind treatment about it, was out of the blue, I was given a very large stock, very large, worth a lot of money, by two dear people who had passed on, and I had no idea had left me this. Now, there had been a time a few years before that I was needing to establish a greater consciousness of abundance. And it just came out of the blue. And I thank in my heart every day those beautiful men. And I also thank Spirit, which is my source. And I also thank my consciousness that I have been thrilled to develop over the years. That's what we're doing, folks. A more recent experience of that was that Reverend Mike and I had been told that the car that we have driven and love so much probably would need to be replaced in a year. And I took that into my consciousness, and it's like, good, that'll all work. A couple of months ago, I was given a beautiful new car out of the blue. I'll go ahead and tell you, my beautiful daughter gave me that car and sent it up here on a transport. I think it's really wonderful. It's essential that we honor and appreciate and thank with all our hearts those people who are sometimes the channels through which our good comes. I know it's essential that we thank our Creator, Spirit itself, for providing all the good for us that we could ever need, so long as we're open for it and have a cheerful expectation that it is on its way, where we have liberty to make the choices without outlining it has to be this or it has to be that. Just I'm so thankful for our consciousness that continues to deepen and to expand, so that we are not surprised, but only delighted and thrilled when our good shows up in our world. So it's divine life that innately provides the liberty, the real freedom. So let's keep making the best choices. Let's get ancient Greek on us here. Let's make those great choices by utilizing our liberty in that way. Establish a deeper and deeper faith, an expanded consciousness of possibility. And remember, all I have is thine. When are we going to remember that and really accept it and believe it? All I have is thine. Beloved, all I have is thine. Everything is given. It's our job to be at liberty to receive it, believe it, accept it for yourself and for others. I love freedom. I love liberty. And I love that we're reminding each other right now that we have it already. Let's employ it in the highest and the best possible way. Will you say with me, I am alive with the life of spirit. I am at liberty to live a beautiful life. I am free to embody love. To experience abundance. To embrace wholeness. And to express creatively. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Wow. Thank you. I got a happy crowd here. And so now it's time to celebrate our abundance. And the best way I know how to celebrate abundance is to circulate it. And as I circulate it, it returns to me tenfold. And the best way I know where to circulate it for me is the closest source of my spiritual good. And that is, for me, this beloved center. And so as I take my gift in your hand, and I invite all of you to choose how you give your gift if you choose to give to our center today. And thank you for that. Let's speak together our prosperity affirmation. I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered. And so it is.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all and all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Oh, command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you, for God is the love to shine His light. God needs us to shine His light. God needs us to shine His light as me, as you, so me. Oh God, I stand for you, and here abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Stealing Payson's intro there. Hi, this is Edie Janik, happy to serve as the president of the Board of Trustees for the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. Thanks for letting me borrow your intro, Payson. I'm going to come up with one of my own very soon. We were just throwing some ideas around about that. All right. Thank you so much for a fabulous, fabulous talk. Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful treatment. So there were a lot of nuggets in that particular talk, you know, and you pull me in when you get that energy going, Dr. Maxine, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? What is she saying? And so there was one, and you were with me there too, Reverend Mike, where she was talking about how happiness is a faint echo of the joy of God or something like that, some kind of crazy words that just went right to my heart. The other thing that I really loved is happiness, a manner of traveling. So it's not a destination, right? It's not like we work towards becoming happy. It's the manner in which we travel through our days. So, so good. Such good stuff, really. Thank you. And thank you, Monet. Let's give a round for Monet, okay? Monet serves on the board. She also is on the AV team, and today was her first. This is not important. This is not necessary. And so this was her first solo flight, working the live stream, posting the comments, you know, sharing them on the screen here, changing the camera angles, putting the music up. It's quite an impressive task to observe and witness, and she did it beautifully. So thank you, Monet. All right. And so we have a lot of fun stuff happening. Speaking of happiness, lots of joy. And one of those is sending our teens. Next week, I believe, they go to Oregon for their teen camp. And we want to thank everybody that has made a donation to our fundraiser for that, because as you know, there's some expense involved in traveling all the way across the country. And so we want to thank everyone for their contributions, and also invite you to, if you haven't made a contribution, the GoFundMe is still open for folks to make a contribution, and like any amount helps. So thank you for that. And you know, the teens that grow up in Science of Mind, we actually just saw a couple of them, well, one of them that grew up in Science of Mind literally get married last weekend. So, and it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. So we just love to see them grow up through all this and create beautiful lives for themselves. Couple upcoming events and classes. I only have 2 pages of announcements here. Very condensed. So everything I'm going to talk about is in the pop-up box on our website, which is www.cslphilly.org. Monet read my mind. You knew where I was going with that. She had it up before I said it. So if you go to the website, everything that I'm about to mention is there. Not only the descriptions and details of the events and classes, but also easy access to registration. And some of these particular events you do need to register for because space is limited. So, full moon ceremony will be held tonight, Sunday night. What are you doing tonight? Come on over to the Inspiration Cafe. July 2nd, which is today, 7 p.m. So, it's a rain or shine event, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have shine. And you want to register. Nibbles and New Thought will be held tomorrow night, Monday, July 3rd, 6:30, Brick and Brew in Malvern. Please register so that we know how many folks are coming. There is limited space, but we'd love to see you there. We sit around, we have great food, we laugh a lot, we ask questions, life questions, new thought questions, questions about what's in the menu. We just questions and answers. It's fun. It's fun. So hope to see you there. Dr. Hazel Spears will be with us. We love her. She's such a wonderful speaker, such an inspiration, so smart. Dr. Hazel Spears will be with us at our next in-person Sunday celebration, which is Sunday, July 9th, here at the Inspiration Cafe. Again, this is a register for your seat event. Go to the pop-up box at cslphilly.org and you will have your seat. Bo Smith will be facilitating the 4 spiritual laws of prosperity, which is a 5-session Zoom class, starts Tuesday, July 18th, and it's 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time. And Reverend Mike, oh my goodness, he just told me that yesterday was the last gathering for the book study of the Science of Mind book. So that was more than 2 years. Total of 3 years. Yeah. Quite an accomplishment and such a joy-filled and inspiring and awakening experience for the folks that either dropped in on a session or were there for the entirety of it. Just a phenomenal experience. So thank you for doing that. And he's so dedicated to having that session every Saturday. I think there might have just been once or twice that you weren't able to do it for whatever reason. Twice, just 2 times in 3 years. So love your dedication. And what a great teacher you are as well. So what's he going to do next? What's he got up his sleeve now? So Reverend Mike will be starting a new 13-week Zoom class on how to use the Science of Mind. So we read the book. How do we use it? Starting Saturday mornings, August 26th. So we get a little bit of a break for a while, and then pick up again on Saturdays, every Saturday, with how to use the Science of Mind. So again, all of this, everything I mentioned and more is available at, there she goes again, www.cslphilly.org, and have a happy day and enjoy your liberty and your life.
Thank you, Edie. I get excited when you give such fun announcements. That's great. Now we're going to have a birthday song because this is the first Sunday in July. So all the July birthday people, whether you're here or whether you're at home, stand up and we're gonna have a song. We're birthday people for July too.
Hit it, Maestro. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear birthday. Happy birthday to you.
We're going to have some wonderful plans, of course, already for birthdays, all kinds of birthdays. As a matter of fact, Reverend Mike and I are going to be traveling quite a bit this summer, and we're leaving Tuesday morning for Calgary. That's in Canada. That's a country that's just north of us. These are people that look a lot like us, and they talk almost like us, eh? And so we're going to be hiking, and of course I'll be wearing something like this. And wait a minute, these shoes. Can you see these shoes? Okay. Anyway, we're going to have a closing song, and it's going to be a rousing patriotic song because it's done by the U.S. Navy Band. If you know it and want to sing along with them, you're welcome to. It's America the Beautiful. Wow. If that doesn't remind you about what the 4th of July is about, I don't know what will. Thank you so much for being with us today. And do enjoy Dr. Hazel Spears next week. She is wonderful. So as we go forward, it is with hearts open and minds clear, knowing we are making every correct and beautiful choice to build a higher consciousness, to choose that which is joy-filled, that which is for the greater purpose, not only in our own lives, but for those beyond. Here we are, making the difference right now. And together we say, and so it is.